Thank you. Holy shit! I'm gonna do carbon. Here we'll do carbon. Bearings carbon. Will be carbon. Carbon. So today I'm gonna talk about how I feel about the R1 after riding it for 3,000 miles. We just got our first service done last weekend. I've had it for a little over 4 months now, about 3,000 miles. So I got a little bit of experience in it on the R1. So I'm gonna talk about some pros and cons now that I got some experience on it, what I think about it. I'm gonna also talk about what we've done to it in these first 3,000 miles and what I got planned for it going forward in the future. But I'm gonna stop and get some gas real quick, fill up. We're gonna hit a long stretch of back road and then hit the interstate on the way back home. Before we do that, I'm gonna fill up. Man, all the gas pumps are out of service. Thank you. I do not have the 360 video on the bike today because I just can't seem to figure out how to dial it in and make the video look good. It just all around looks crappy. So until I can figure it out, I'm just not going to implement it in the video. I don't know. I've cleaned the lenses like super well every time. I've messed with like all the settings that I know how to use, and it still looks terrible, especially at night. That 360 video is awful. If y'all go watch my last video, it's like embarrassing. I almost wanted to delete it because it's that bad, but I don't know. So until I can figure out that 360 video, we're just gonna rock the GoPro for now. So, to my first thing I like about the R1, the power. This thing has so much power. It's insane. Is it the fastest bike out there? No. But it's 1,000. It's a dang R1. She makes 180 horsepower. She's fast, man. I know you probably got your built Hayabusa turboed and lowered and stretched and all the things, and it can go 250 miles an hour, but this thing is fast. I don't care what you say. That's number one. What I like about my R1 is the power and how fast this thing is. Like, you can do whatever you want with this bike. Like, riding this bike on a public road makes you feel invincible. You know what I mean? So you've been on a 1000 and ridden one on the street and felt how fast these things are. I can't explain to you the feeling that it gives you. Like, it is like nothing else I have ever experienced. So if you get yourself an R1, make sure you can control yourself. Because it is very easy to get this bike out of control. Number two thing that I really enjoy about my R1, the adjustability. There are so many different rider aids and rider modes with this R1. Like, it's pretty impressive. I rock mode A, power mode 1, TCS 1, slide control 1, everything's in 1, wheelie controls in 1, and I got a tune on it, so I run it in all the fast modes. I don't have all the rider rates turned off completely, but I have them in their minimal like intervention settings, I guess you could say. But I feel like with all the rider modes that the R1 comes with, it can make it more approachable to somebody who may not quite be ready for full 1000cc bike power. I have not ridden it in the low power modes. I haven't ridden it in D mode, so I can't really speak for how much it actually like detunes the bike. But from what I hear, it's pretty significant. It makes it ride similar to a 600 if you put it down in that D mode. So that's what I feel like a really good pro to have on 1000cc is these rider modes, because I have had these rider modes save me a couple of times. The like slide control and traction control, where I've laid into the throttle too hard maybe, or come into a corner too hot and lost a little bit of traction, but where I lack in skill, the bike picked up and saved it for me, which I feel like having on the street is a very big deal. Because just because I'm on an R1 doesn't mean I'm a professional rider. I'm not, by any means. So I make mistakes, and these rider modes that this R1 has have saved me on multiple occasions. So that's something I really enjoy and take advantage of on the R1 is the rider modes. This road that well, so I'm not trying to send it too hard to a corner. Number 3. This is a really big one for me. This is something that really drew me to the R1, and probably you guys as well, that catches your attention about the R1s. It's the sound of the R1. That this awesome, low, grumbly, poppy exhaust note that the R1 makes is like nothing else. There is no other bike that sounds like an R1. It's truly unique, and that really drew me to this bike is the exhaust. And I'm going to talk about all the mods I've done to it so far and everything I plan on doing to it in the future in a little bit. But I just have a 3/4 exhaust system on it right now, and it drastically changed how this bike sounds, and I absolutely love it. The sound of this bike is just amazing. It's like, as you guys saw earlier when I was at the gas station, like, everybody knows the R1. Even people who aren't bike people know the R1. I can't tell you how much attention I've gotten from people on the road or at a grocery store or whatever, wherever I'm at with the bike, because I have an R1, you know, and just the looks and the noise that it makes is like truly unique, and it's attention grabbing, and it's a part of what drew me to it. So if you guys have not experienced the sound of an R1 in person, these videos don't do it justice. It sounds so freaking good. Oh my gosh. That guy about killed me, man. And I wasn't even speeding either. Good God, could y'all imagine if I was sending it through that corner? I'd be dead right now. Oh my God. If you put a dime up my ass right now, that bitch would be bent. So, Exhibit A, why you should not send it super hard around corners on a section of road that you're not familiar with. For that reason right there. That guy didn't do that on purpose. As you saw, I didn't lose my cool. I kept my composure. There's no reason to get upset with people. He didn't mean to do that. He did not see me coming. So, whatever. It is what it is. Mistakes happen. Anyways, yeah, the exhaust note on the R1 is just, it's so good. So yeah, those are like my main things that I really love about the R1. Its power, the adaptability with all the riding modes that Yamaha gives you, the exhaust is the noise this bike makes is insane. The looks, it just looks like mean, and like it's super clean looking bike. I love it. There's a ton more that I really enjoy about the R1, of course. Those are just like my main things. If I think of anything else pertinent, I'll talk about it a little later. But I also want to talk about some cons about the R1 after being on it for 3,000 miles. Because as much as I feel like it's a perfect bike for me and I really enjoy it, and I don't see myself getting any other bike than the R1, there are some cons, like some general things that aren't the best about this bike that some people are not going to enjoy. And to be honest with you, I didn't really enjoy these things when I first got it, when I was riding home from the dealership and those first couple days with it. And the very big one, and I feel like the very obvious one, is how uncomfortable it is. This bike is extremely aggressive and uncomfortable. The seat is super hard. The seat is super high. Your pegs in your feet position are super high and tucked up under your butt. Your handlebars or your clip-ons are extremely low. Like if you look at just like a side view of the R1, the handlebars are like even with, if not like lower than the seat. So you're super, you know, hunched over and very much of an attack aggressive riding position on this R1. And riding on the street, it can get uncomfortable, especially if you're riding for a long period of time, or if you're riding at slower speeds, like in town light to light. That's like, I feel like I feel like that's the biggest con of the R1 is the ergonomics and how uncomfortable it can be. But like I said, after putting 3,000 miles in the saddle on the R1, when I first was riding on it, that was my biggest thing, was how uncomfortable it was. But now I've gotten so used to it, I don't get uncomfortable, and it's only been 3,000 miles. So, you know, you can get used to it, and I really don't think it's that bad now. I've come up with ways to make myself comfortable riding this bike, like how I am right now, just resting with my arm on the tank. You know, I don't have any pain in my back right now, or a lot of times you'll see me sit up like this with my hand on my hip. There are ways to get around the aggressive riding position. Is it ideal? No, but it's something that you can adapt to. But that's the biggest con that I feel like most people are going to have with the R1, is how uncomfortable it is. And since getting the R1, I've sat on other leader bikes, and from my experience sitting on all these leader bikes, the R1 is probably the most uncomfortable out of all of them. So, you know, take that with what you will. It's something that you can overcome, but that's probably going to be your biggest gripe about the R1, is just how uncomfortable it is. Another con that I could see some people not, you know, really being too fond of, and this has to do with the power again. Like I said, for me, having all this power is a very big positive. I love how fast this bike is. But just because it's a positive for me doesn't mean it's going to be a positive for everybody. Some people might not like it. Like, as you can see right now, I'm in third gear, going 55 miles an hour at like 5,000 RPM. If I'm riding this bike legally, I never really have to leave second or third gear. You will not run through the gearbox on this bike on a normal street ride. You just won't. You'll go through second and third gear maybe, and that's about it. Like in fourth gear, I can probably hit about 150 miles an hour in fourth gear. And I still got 2 more gears to go. So, you know, the gears are super long. So like I said, the power for me is a pro, but for some people out there, it can also be a con. So, you know, until you get yourself on a 1000 and you feel it, it's really kind of hard to explain. you either love it or you hate it, honestly. And for me, obviously, I love it. So overall, as far as my review of the R1 after being on it for 3,000 miles, my overall opinion is this is a great bike. Like, this is an amazing bike. I don't know how else to say it. If you have good amount of riding experience and you're comfortable with riding and you're looking for a leader bike and you're considering an R1, I'm going to tell you, go for it. I think it's a great bike. It's a great purchase, and I really don't think you're going to be disappointed. Again, there are other bikes that do offer some better things, you know. It just all depends on what you're looking for. If you're just looking for raw power, great sound, and you know, I think the R1 is for you. So yeah, that's my overall opinion of the R1. If you're looking to get 1,000 and you're interested in the R1, buy it. and just buy it. It's a great bike. I would recommend it to anybody with a good amount of riding experience. Not my last video, but my next to last video, so 2 videos ago, I asked you guys what you thought should be the next bike purchase, new helmet or a fairing kit, and I put out a poll on Instagram, and you guys came through, and the vote was for a new helmet. So I went ahead and purchased it, and I have it at the house. I bought me a Carbon Shark Racer R Pro GP. And that helmet is nice, man. I'm not wearing it right now because I had to order a chin mount for it so I can mount the camera to it and record. So I'm not able to record videos with it right now. So I'm still rocking the Rock at the moment. But compared to that to this Rock, that Shark helmet is, oh my gosh, I can't even explain to you how nice it is. Super comfortable. It is really snug, but I mean, it's a race helmet, so it's going to be snug, but it looks amazing, feels amazing. There's like almost no wind noise inside that helmet. It's like airtight. it's like everything is muffled. So I already have the chin mount ordered for it, and it should be here sometime next week, I'm hoping. So hopefully my next video that comes out after this one, I'll have the Racer R Pro GP on, and I'm hoping that it'll create better video too, because like I said, that helmet is super quiet compared to this Rock. This Rock is extremely loud with wind noise. So I really think that wearing that Shark while recording the videos is going to make the audio sound a lot better. You probably won't hear as much wind noise. The next video I put out will probably be a detailed like ride and review with the Shark Racer R Pro. But I just wanted to spill the beans and let you guys know y'all came through, and y'all told me I should upgrade the helmet, so I did. We got the Shark Racer R Pro GP. Yeah, but I'm gonna go stop here and get some gas in a minute, and then we're gonna hit the interstate and head back home. I'll stop somewhere on the way home and do a walk around to the bike and talk about everything I've done with the bike in these 3,000 miles, and what I plan on doing with it, what I plan on doing for it going forward in the future. I'll probably do a video like this every 3,000 miles, every time I go get it serviced, just as kind of like a time keep, if you will, to show the progress that we've done with this bike every 3,000 miles. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop and get some gas real quick, and then I probably won't include a lot of the interstate ride back home because I'm going to take it nice and chill. But I'll catch back up with you guys once we get closer to the stop, and we'll do a walk around of the R1 and we'll talk about everything we've done with it so far. I thought of another potential con while I was at the gas station, considering I've filled it up twice already in this video. If you get 1,000, or you know, you get an R1, they're not good on gas. Leader bikes are good for one thing, and that's to go fast. So you're going to give up gas mileage for that. So if you don't think you're going to go get a 1000cc sport bike and get good gas mileage, because you're not. Full disclaimer. I think I get maybe 28, 29 miles to the gallon when I'm just cruising. Obviously, if I'm riding faster, I get less. But yeah, that's another potential con I just want to put out there. You're going to spend a lot of time at the gas pump. Alright, we're going to stop over here real quick on the water and talk real quick about everything that I've done so far with the R1 and everything that I plan on doing with it going forward. And I'll just give you guys a quick walk around. Alright, here she is. So it's a 2017 R1. I bought it, it was completely stock when I bought it. It had not a thing done to it. But what I've done to it so far is the exhaust. We did the Leo Vents 3/4 exhaust. We got it dyno tuned. It's stock horsepower it was making was about 159. After the tune, we currently got it up to 180 horsepower and about 80 foot-pounds of torque. Those are really the only two performance mods that I've done so far. Obviously, we got these tank grips on here, the stump grips. Those make a huge difference. We did the little at-home DIY fender delete. Just took that big whale fin off. But yeah, that's all I've done with her so far. I do have some big plans going forward with it. So, like I said before, I was wanting to do a fairing kit, but instead of doing like a complete like plastic fairing kit, I think I'm gonna be big baller and do some carbon fiber to match that shark helmet that I just got. So other than the fairing kit, probably pretty soon I'm gonna do a new chain and sprocket kit. I might go like 1 or 2 up in the rear because I don't really top this bike out, so it would make more sense for me to get a little bit more acceleration. It has plenty of acceleration already, but if I don't top it out, I might as well get what kind of power out of it I can. But yeah, as far as the carbon fiber, what I'm thinking about doing for now, because carbon fiber is expensive and I'm balling on a budget, is I'm gonna go do the tail section. So these pieces here, I'm gonna do carbon. This little section here will do carbon. We're gonna do the complete side fairings carbon. The tank cover will be carbon. We're gonna do the front end carbon, and we're gonna do this front fender carbon as well as this rear like tire hugger. I'm gonna do that carbon too. So we're gonna carbon fiber her out, get her looking nice, match the shark helmet. I'm also wanting to do some ASV shorty levers. I'll probably do those gold with like a blue dial to match the forks, and I'm gonna keep the gas tank and the wheels blue. I think that'll look good with the carbon on there. But yeah, as of now, that's all I really plan on doing with it. I'm sure there will be more that I can think of and come up with. But yeah, that's my R1. That's what I have done to it so far, and that's what I plan on doing with it going forward. I'll give you a little startup and sound test too with this exhaust. Crazy what just a 3/4 exhaust will do. and a tune. Alright guys, well I appreciate y'all watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If y'all are interested in seeing the Shark Racer Art Pro GP carbon style, stick around to the next video. I'm gonna do a full ride and review with that helmet. But as always, you guys stay safe, ride safe. Until the next one.